Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot out in West Plano, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. I'd love to connect with you, and that is the fastest way to do so. It is a beautiful afternoon, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody. I actually went shopping on Easter. Most places are actually closed, but Home Depot, Lowe's, and a couple of other big box stores are not. So I was able to film a little bit of content. I had just gotten back from Houston after celebrating my grandmother's birthday. And foldies, have you ever heard of this new soil called Classy Rabbit, which is from a local small business out in McKinney, Texas? Really excited to share with you this new soil, which is 100% organic. What I love about it is that this is a standalone type soil. You don't have to mix orchid bark or other amenities that actually make this soil chunky. It is already chunky, light, and fast draining. You can use it to improve your existing soil. What I also like about it is they are made by farmers, so they don't really consult like soil scientists or whatever that means. They really know what Mother Nature has in the soil. And what I like about it is I've been able to pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, and they have really acclimated to this soil. I love the fact that, again, it is 100% organic, and the ingredients that we have would be rabbit manure, composed food waste, pine bark chips, mycorrhizae, dried molasses, pumice, and expanded shale, rice hulls, and yucca extract. So all of those ingredients really make this soil. It is balanced, and what I love about it is Classy Rabbit products are simple where it counts, smart where they matter. So that means all of the ingredients that the soil needs, it's right there. They don't need to add anything else, and they don't offer anything that they don't need. I also love the fact that Classy Rabbit is priced well, where it's a happy medium between the low prices of cheap, and when I say cheap, quality, and the high prices of unnecessary ingredients. It kind of balances it both. And if you see right here, I potted this Aglaonema up in a terracotta planter. You can see how fast draining it is as I put a bunch of water into the soil. You can see that it is literally just draining through, but just because it's fast draining, it doesn't mean that it doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry about adding any perlite, because this particular soil doesn't have perlite. It has all natural ingredients. So for those that have never heard about Classy Rabbit, please go to classyrabbit.com. I highly endorse this soil. I love it so much. And even though I've been doing semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuzapon and Leca, I've actually been converting all of my plants back to soil because of this particular soil. They do offer free shipping at classyrabbit.com. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested, and hopefully you will support Classy Rabbit. I mean, have you pooped on your plants lately? I would. And it's been an amazing couple of days just being able to spend some time with the family. I do have some footage from my grandmother's 90th birthday. I was actually asked by my family to be the host of the party, so I wasn't able to actually film a lot of the content myself. I did film some content where it would show you how a Filipino family creates a party. So hopefully I can get that uploaded for the plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie, and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. So if that is your cup of tea, please make sure you press the subscribe button with all the notification bell on so you never miss an upload from me. But as you can see right here, this is one of my favorite Home Depots, and I actually find this quite interesting. This is Hawaiian Punch, $6.98. So you've got a bunch of smaller hibiscus flowers. I like the pink on this one. And you know, I've gotten into the habit of creating bonsai again, and these would actually make pretty good pre-bonsai. Now, I've never really really seen anybody make hibiscus bonsai, but that would be an interesting, project to do. I may visit that at some point. And then I'm just gonna walk through here. So this particular Home Depot, if you live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I am based at, is actually dubbed as one of the best, if not the best, Home Depot to go shopping for outdoor plants for the garden, or better yet, indoor tropical plants. I would say it's definitely in the top 2, and this is the reason why I will travel a little bit further down south to be able to go to this location. But as you can see right here, we've got a sale going on at Home Depot for Bonnie plants. It's 3 for $10, and I love the fact that I have delved back into gardening outside. Over the winter, it's very challenging, obviously, to grow plants. My grow zone is 8B, so I can't really grow plants outdoors like that. My Japanese maples are doing extremely well, and I actually have some vegetables that are growing well. I will film that content very soon, and it's really going to be more so for the Super Plant Foldies, which is actually my YouTube membership tier. If you'd like to join it, that is really for more exclusive content. You'll see more of my personal plants. I may go ahead and just show you my houseplant tour on the Super Plant Foldy YouTube membership page. It is only $2.99, and I would hope you guys would consider it, because that is going to give me a little bit more freedom to show myself. I may actually just do a face reveal that way. I definitely want to post some more shorter content video there, like my lifestyle blog, etc. and whatnot. So in order to join that YouTube membership, all you have to do is check out the comments section, and I will have the direct link pinned onto it, because I didn't realize that if you are watching my YouTube plant shopping videos on the YouTube app on your phone, typically the join button on the videos will not show. It will only show if you're watching it, I believe, on TV, or better yet, on a laptop or computer. So there you go, Plant Foldies. Definitely check that out. But as you can see right here, this particular Home Depot just has tons and tons and tons of plants, whether it is vegetable plants like this. I really like the fact that they actually have a cage for that. And, it seems like all of the citrus plants are in season. You can see that there is a bunch of lemons. I was able to get me a calmodin or calamansi tree, which is basically the Philippine lime. I have 2 of them growing. One I bought from Walmart.com of all places, and another one at a local nursery out in Fort Worth, Texas. But it's really exciting to see that Home Depot and Lowe's has some calmodium or calamansi trees for that. And then you can see right over here, Plant Foldies, we've got some smart plants. So these ones right here are some more blooming plants. I really like that. That is a primrose flower. Really like the look of that. It does need full sun. Most flowers actually need to have full sun. So if you are wanting to do a flower garden, you definitely need to make sure that you have quite a bit of light. Full sun is what's needed. And then you can see right here, we've got a bunch of hostas, and it's interesting because they have the hostas out in full sun. Typically hostas need to be in shade, or at least protection from the afternoon sun. I really love the look of hostas, and what I love about hostas, like I've said in my previous videos, is it is a perennial plant, meaning that plant is going to actually grow back year after year in your outdoor garden, depending on your grow zone. And then you can see right over here, we've got lantana, and last year I actually grew some lantana in my garden. A couple of them are coming back as perennials, so really excited about that. It is a really fast growing ground cover, and it's very drought tolerant, heat tolerant, and that is really what's necessary if you live out in North Dallas. Our summers are 100+ degree weather, and it's a little bit challenging. So now, Plant Foldies, I'm just going to walk around here and just show you the beautiful hydrangeas and plants before we get into the indoor tropical section. Tons of proven winter plants at this location, and we'll go into detail about that in just a bit. there's one plant that I did want to highlight as I do big box store plant shopping videos for spring 2025, and that would be the beautiful and colorful caladium. So caladiums are actually bulbous plants. They grow from bulbs, and typically they appear more so in late spring, early summer, and are grown throughout the year until they go dormant in the fall season. This one right here is by Vigoro Plants for $6.98. And if you notice how beautiful and vibrant the colors are, I have just realized that whenever it comes to vibrant, colorful foliage, I tend to gravitate to that. And I say this because I love coleus plants as well as obviously Aglaonema, but caladiums are another plant that I love. And what's interesting is you can grow caladiums just like coleus plants indoors. The only thing is you're going to have to work a little bit harder to grow caladiums indoors because they do need a little bit more light and warmer conditions to really thrive in an indoor space. Most caladiums need to be in a shaded area, and you'll notice $14.98. This is by Proven Winner Plants. This is Heart to Heart Raspberry Moon Caladium. It's heat tolerant, no deadheading, and I love the fact that in the actual thing it says it is adaptable as a house plant, meaning you can potentially put this indoors and grow it as an indoor house plant, an indoor tropical plant. So I am in the hunt to maybe find a smaller variety of caladiums. I think they had a couple at Lowe's for $6.98. So I will be collecting a couple of caladiums from Proven Winners. And you know, as far as today's video, I do want to highlight a lot of the indoor tropical Proven Winner plants, the Proven Winner Leaf Joy series, but you'll see that I'm just going to pilfer through here and show you some of these caladiums. Most of these are either going to be Proven Winners or you'll have these assortments. This one is for $8.98, and look at how white and light the foliage is. Caladiums really have a charm about them. I know that if you're looking for pink plants, red plants, and white plants, caladiums are your go-to plant. Now, these plants are considered a perennial, and the reason being is they will go dormant and your bulbs will just go dormant over the winter. But as late spring and early summer comes around, as the soil and the weather warms up, that's when you'll see the bulbs start to pop. And you can even see right here, I mean, look at how gorgeous the red is on that, the white, and even the pink. So as far as growing them as an indoor house plant, I've asked any of the plant foldies watching or anybody that has stumbled upon my my YouTube videos, have you grown caladiums indoors? Do you think I should do a video specifically about caladiums, like how to grow caladiums indoors as a house plant? I would love your opinions and commentary, so please leave that in the comments section. I love getting that feedback. I really want to provide more diverse content on this YouTube channel aside from big box or plant shopping videos, and that's the reason why I feel like after launching my YouTube membership tier, it's going to give me a little bit more freedom to get out of my niche and explore other venues when it comes to plant content. But as you can see right here, look at how beautiful this caladium is. It doesn't even look real. It looks like it's been painted on the leaves. I know that, you know, just like crotons, coleus plants, and Aglaonema, caladiums are in the same boat where people either love them or they hate them. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I really feel like there's not really a middle ground when it comes to caladiums. I absolutely adore caladiums. I am a person that just loves pink foliage, really bright, colorful foliage. And you can even see right here, plant foldies, look at that. Look at how gorgeous that pink variegation or pink coloration is, and you'll even notice the bloom has a little bit of pink variegation here. I'm really tempted to buy a caladium today, but I am putting a budget for only $30 today to see if I can find me some Proven Winner Leaf Joy bowls. There is that H2 bowl that I'm interested in. I heard from a rumor that there might be some Aglaonemas released by proven winner, Leaf Joy. So I will be checking that out in a little bit. So I know the majority of you guys that watch my plant shopping videos are really more interested in the indoor tropical plants, but for a lot of my videos, at least for spring, when a lot of these outdoor garden plants are prevalent, I am going to show a little bit of the outdoor garden section. Hopefully you guys will still stay engaged and tuned in, because I love all sorts of plants. I mean, you can see right here, these caladiums are only for $8.98. Let me know what variety of caladiums you like, whether you've grown them indoors, whether you've grown them in your garden, what you use them for. I'd really love to know. So just leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'm just going to keep picking up these caladiums, and we'll move on to the next couple of plants that are available at the Home Depot Garden Center here in West Plano, Texas. Here is another beautiful plant that I have become really fond of. This is a Hosta for $7.48 by Vigoro Plants. Look at how beautiful that green on green variegation is. It almost reminds me of like a large global green pothos, or like a Manjula pothos that's just green on green. I really love that neon colored green on it. Now with hostas, again, they are perennials in most grow zones, so definitely check your grow zone if you're going to be growing these in an outdoor garden. They prefer to be in a more shaded area, protection from the hot afternoon sun. I don't think you can really grow hostas in full sun unless it's a specific cultivar or hybrid that has actually been grown to be able to withstand full sun. But either way, what a beautiful plant. And you know, with hostas, I know for a fact that they do well as perennials in my grow zone, which is 8B. And you can see that as far as hostas, you can see that they have many varieties. You know, springtime is really the prime time when it comes to selling plants for vendors as well as shopping for us consumers. And it's always fun to go out and shop. You know, I actually got back into Dallas around 10 a.m. on Easter morning. And, you know, as far as the 90th birthday celebration for my grandmother, it was just so heartwarming to see how happy she was for not only having all of her family, or the majority of her family, attend, but for all of us to really let her know how much we love her, and to be able to just have such a close-knit family. I come from a very large family. It's a typical Filipino family where we have several uncles and aunties, cousins, nephews, nieces, you name it. We're all over, and the fact that we had 100+ guests just attend from all over just to celebrate my grandmother's 90th birthday. I'm really happy about that. Very excited to show you a couple of videos. I may show you some of my videos of my aunt and my dad and his brothers giving them, giving my grandmother a speech on how much they love her. And that's the thing for me. The majority of my plant, my plant knowledge, my love for plants was really cultivated by my grandmother at an early age. And to me, she is a very special person. For somebody to be 90 years old, for somebody to be able to walk on her own, to have a sound mind, body, and health is truly a blessing. And she always mentions how she lives her life through kindness. She lives her life through plants, and really plants have really given her really good mental health as well as physical health. So I want to follow her footsteps, and this is the reason why it is important for me to grow plants in my home. Now we're getting to the azaleas. Let's talk about azaleas. Encore azaleas are actual plants that actually rebloom 3 times a year. And this one right here, I have not seen one that has a really good trunk structure to where this could become a potential bonsai. I have been on a kick about growing azalea bonsai, and I would really like to grow an azalea bonsai using an Encore azalea because it does rebloom 3 times a year. Currently, I have 4 Satsuki azalea that I bought from Metro Maples, but if you'll notice, this has a pretty nice trunk structure. What I'm thinking thinking of doing, and I'm probably gonna buy this for $15.98, is to chop up a lot of this and cut it back to where it will just regrow smaller branches and really ramify that. So we'll see what that looks like. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy this Encore Azalea, the Autumn Bonfire, which is actually a more dwarf azalea anyway, and see if I can train it. I'm probably going to put it in a trainer pot, a terracotta shallow pot with some Canuma soil, which is basically a very acidic mix of soil and some sphagnum moss chopped into it, and we will see what that looks like. So that's what's exciting, is the fact that now that I've actually been doing, plant shopping videos for more than a year and a half, I've been able to just get a lot of this content out for y'all, and to have this community where you guys really invest time to just listen to me talk. I kind of reflect back and think, do I talk too much? Am I just talking your ear off? Do I have something of value to mention to y'all? But you guys always validate that I have something of value for you, because at the end of the day, I see 55 plus people, sometimes close to 70 people watching a live premiere chat, and I really appreciate that. As far as azaleas, they do need that acidic soil, and my tip if you're gonna grow azaleas is, number one, they have to stay moist. They do not like to dry out completely for long periods of time. I think that if you actually let them dry out completely for a long period of time, they end up actually just dying. That's happened to me in the past. I have not been able to successfully grow an Encore Azalea in my landscape, and I think it might have to do either with the watering or the soil type. They don't like to sit in soil that's not very fast draining. So, as far as soil amendments, we have a lot of clay soil, unfortunately, in North Dallas. So I actually have to mix and add a lot of that soil for them to really establish. I am a little bit weary about doing planting at this point in the season, just because in a couple of weeks it is going to be summertime. And as far as summer, at least in Texas, for those that live in Texas, you already can relate with me, but it is brutal in the fact that it's just super hot, 100+ degree weather. And then here again is another beautiful proven winners, Caladium. Look at that red. Look at that red. It's so gorgeous to me. I would think that we can start a potential trend. I mean, I know for a fact that I will be growing some Caladiums. So we're going to see if I can actually grow some Caladiums. If you have actually joined my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, you will have seen a clip of my previous Caladium garden where I just had like so many pots of Caladiums I grew from bulbs. Now this one right here is a purple Prince Alternatera. So this is actually another perennial, but if you look at it, it almost looks like basil. Now, this is another plant that people use for container gardens, but it could potentially be another plant that you can grow as an indoor tropical plant. And that's the thing about some of the unique plants that you wouldn't really necessarily think about putting into a tropical setting, or at least an indoor garden, but that's one of them. And then now we're just gonna walk through here. I'm just gonna show you the different types of shrubs, the different types of tropical plants. There are a ton of hibiscus flowers, and as far as hibiscus flowers, I would love to be able to grow them long term, but my weather doesn't necessarily fit that growing condition for hibiscus. And then right here for $9.98, we've got some beautiful dahlias. I have never really grown dahlias, but that would be something I would like to explore in some time in the future. Aside from just growing plants indoors, I've really tried to pivot myself to growing plants outdoors because it's a lot easier. I have a automatic sprinkler that just waters my plants. I don't have to do so much in terms of pest control because there are already natural pest preventatives out there, some of those predators. And for me, it's just all about really simplifying care. I know next year on the side of my house, for instance, I want to create some flower beds where I'm going to have a bunch of azaleas and possibly more Japanese maples that are dwarf size. My ultimate dream is to have like a Japanese maple garden slash, Japanese garden in general. It's going to take a couple years because I need more shade. And in order for me to grow Japanese maples, at least in my grow zone, it's going to be necessary to have larger trees that provide shade. So that would be something I will eventually document on my YouTube membership page, as well as the main part of this channel. Again, you know, for the plant foldies, you guys always come out in groves. I love it. Please continue to watch my videos, leave me some comments, share my videos, and let me know what other content you want to see aside from big box or plant shopping videos. I'm really open to suggestions. It's just easier for me to just go to a big box store, pick up my phone and film for an hour and then edit and just tell you what is on my mind. You know, I utilize a lot of my plant shopping videos to just really talk to you guys. It's more of like a personal blog. If you think of how I approach my shopping videos, I'll tell you about some care tips. Like for instance, hibiscus like a little bit more acidic soil and they need full sun. So you need to make sure you can provide that. And I actually think that the leaves of this canna lily is really nice as well on the striping on it. And just look at how massive this Home Depot garden center is. We'll keep walking and then we're gonna go into the indoor tropical section. See that there's just so many plants to pick from. I'm gonna pull this one out right over here. This is a canna lily as well, but you could see that it's got almost like an Aglaonema golden hope foliage. I really love the stripes on that, the leaf. And we have a bunch of Boston ferns hanging baskets. I'm not really a fan of that. And then we also have some oleander right over here. Now that plant is actually super toxic, so you have to be careful around children and your pets. And then for $26.98, we got these 10-gallon hostas. And I mean, this is just so beautiful right here. Could you imagine trying to grow a hosta indoors? I'm really curious if anybody has attempted to grow hostas indoors. Let me know in the comment section. I may attempt to do it, but my feeling is if I take something like this and put it indoors, it's probably going to end up getting spider mites. There are certain plants that just don't do well in terms of adapting into like an indoor space. I know for a fact, like cordyline tea plants, for instance, don't do well. They end up getting spider mites. Hydra helix, for instance, don't do well as well. The English ivy. And then I've even thought about growing some of these coral bells right over here, these heucheras right here. This one is by Proven Winners, but I doubt that these would do well indoors. $8.98. This is the Dulce Blackberry. I mean, look at this. And that is the reason why I want to talk about Proven Winner plants. They are just always coming up with some quality plants, lots of selection from Proven Winner plants. I am a huge fan, and I remember watching a lot of these garden YouTube channels where people talk about gardening. Typically, the source for the plants that they use for gardening come from Proven Winner plants. So, you know, I can see why, because they have so many different varieties, beautiful plants, high quality. And then look at this right here. So this is another large Proven Winner plants. This is a Heart to Heart Radiance. So actually, there was an actual Caladium I wanted to buy, or at least regret buying, from the Lowe's video I did a couple of days ago. It was the Caladium Radiance. Because I mean, if you take a look at this, it's got beautiful red foliage. It looks like the red is actually bleeding through. Very vibrant. It's just very beautiful. And you know, as far as this plant, it can adapt as an indoor space plant. And then you can see right here, when you put a Caladium next to this Hosta, I mean, that is a great combination. Can you imagine putting that in your garden somewhere in a shaded area, maybe underneath a tree? That's something I might have some ideas on eventually in my garden beds. But that's one thing that I definitely want to delve into more, is just outdoor gardening, landscaping, and really celebrating just the gorgeous caladiums that Proven Winners has. Hopefully plant foldies, just like I've kind of plant influenced you guys on hashtag popularizing aglaonema. Hopefully you guys might want to grow some caladiums. I mean, take a look at that. Could you imagine growing that indoors in your indoor space? Let me know in the comments section, because I cannot get over the colors, the vibrant colors of the leaves. And then I had to put that hosta back. I mean, look at that. That is such a cool combination. And can you imagine growing those indoors in an indoor space? Now, I have been told that any plant can be grown indoors. I suppose theoretically you can grow a plant indoors, but I just feel like the pests, they just become more susceptible when you place them in an area that makes their health not the best. And then I just wanted to go pan out here. Here is another gorgeous caladium by Proven Winners. This one is a heart-to-heart raspberry moon, and you can see right over here just the colors of it. I mean, this is just, it's just wow. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but these caladiums are so beautiful for $14.98. I mean, look at that. That is the heart-to-heart raspberry moon. I really love the look of that. And you would think that these plants are a little bit delicate. I would just say protect them from the hot afternoon sun. Don't put them out in full sun, and they should do very well. They are perfect container patio plants and potentially plants that you can grow in an indoor space. So now that I've kind of just showed you guys the outdoor section, we are going to be walking into the indoor tropical plant section. This is one of the larger selections of indoor tropical plants. So I'm super excited to get that started and walk you through some of the indoor tropical plants right over here. Let's see what plants we will find in just a minute. You can see over here, look at that. That's just so many large foliage plants. So the first one up right here is a Calathea rospic, actually a Calathea dotty. Sorry, Calathea dotty. And that one is for $29.98. And then we have some combination planters. So we've got a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant, the kiwi version with the neon pothos. That is also for $29.98. I mean, look at how vibrant the leaves are. Really love the combination. It actually works for me. So these kind of combinations make a little bit more sense to me, especially when you use pothos plants as almost like a ground cover. That works well in combination planters, at least in my opinion. And then we're just gonna walk around here, and I'm just gonna show you the other indoor tropical plants. We've got a Dracaena. We've got an Aglaonema red Siam, which is one of my favorite plants to promote and really get people excited about. And then we've got an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, or maybe jade pothos since it's mostly green, $29.98. That's a really good value. So let's see what other plants that we can find that are cheap, inexpensive, easy to care for at this Home Depot location. See how organized this particular Home Depot is. Not all big box stores are created equal, but this particular big box store I will buy plants from all day, every day, because I mean, look at this, just the arrangement of their plants, the full selection of plants, the health of the plants. I mean, look at this gorgeous Alocasia right here. This container, which actually has pothos plants and Hoyas as a ground cover, is for $129. So you have an instant indoor plant if you have a larger space. The only thing about this Alocasia is, and you know, with Alocasias, they are just spider mite magnets. I would always suggest spraying them down with neem oil so they have a protective coat away from you know, spider mites and other plant pests. And then as I spin around here, I mean, look at this. Look at the sea of beautiful reddish maroon tones from these cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. It's unfortunate that, you know, cordyline Hawaiian tea plants just don't do well in an indoor space. They very much so are susceptible to spider mites. This one is only for $16, y'all. $16.98, and you already got a nice foliage plant. And I just like like to pan around here and just show you how full this Home Depot is. Let me know if you've actually shopped at this for all of the local plant foldies in Dallas. And if you ever are visiting Dallas and need to go to a big box store, go to this one off of West Plano, Texas. This is right next to the North Dallas Tollway, and it is just one that I would recommend because you can see right here the cordyline tea plant. This one is for $16.98. That is the kiwi, which is really cool. I actually have only one cordyline tea plant, and that is the pinstripes one. It was a proven winners plant that I bought, and I actually took it from water, like the hydroponic substrate that it was in, into just soil, and it is living its best life. I actually have my cordyline tea plant growing in full sun, and they actually prefer a lot of light. So that's the reason why if you're going to grow a cordyline plant, you need to go ahead and make sure you're growing it outdoors. And then look at this ficus lyrata combination. That's really pretty with the neon pothos, my favorite neon pothos, or at least my favorite pothos to grow. And then we have to take a little time to look at these gorgeous Aglaonema Silver Bay right here, $29.98. I am tempted to buy another one actually. Cannot go wrong with an Aglaonema Golden Bay. Look at how beautiful that is. So the difference between the Silver Bay and the Golden Bay is if you look at the middle of the leaf, it's got a golden tone about it and it has white stems. I have two of them that I ended up buying at Home Depot. I just can't get enough of Aglaonema, especially these varieties. So I've shown you guys a lot of the more colorful varieties. Those tend to be a little bit harder to grow. They're still an easy to care for plant, but these ones right here, the Aglaonema Silver Bay, Aglaonema Golden Bay, and even the Aglaonema Nicole, those are super easy to take care of. And as we go around here, you'll notice that this Home Depot just has a lot of inexpensive, large tropical house plants that can really fill up your home. So if you are a plant collector or somebody that wants an easy to care for plant, I would recommend shopping at Home Depot because they have so many sizes of different plants. This one has large plants, they've got smaller plants, they've got very cost-effective plant pricing. And as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, my tips to save money on houseplants is number one, to have a hard budget, and then number two, just make sure that you have some idea of what plant you're wanting to buy. That way you're not just making impulse buys right here, even though especially when you go to a big box store that has beautiful plants like this, where they're super organized, super full, and there's just a huge selection of house plants to buy from or pick from, it makes it a little bit more challenging to just control yourself. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I mean, this is such a full plant nursery right here at Home Depot. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of these 6-inch planters by Vigoro Plants. These are originally for $14.98. This one is a Dracaena, but these are actually on sale right now. All of these plants that are 6-inch planters are for $9.98, which is a really good plant price for anything that is a 6-inch planter. Love Vigoro Plants. I mean, you can see right here, this is a smaller version of an Aglaonema Silver Bay. So if you don't have the space to get a large Aglaonema Silver Bay, you can still get one like this. Just know that it will eventually grow in size, but you can see right here, $14.98, but it is on sale right now for $9.98. I'm just gonna walk around and show you the rest of the Vigoro plants that they have available at this location. notice that Vigoro Plants also has gorgeous bromeliads. So this one right here is for $18.98 in a 6-inch planter. I'm gonna just pick up the different colors of the bromeliads. That is another plant that I feel like if you wanted to mount it up on a wooden plank and actually display it on a wall, this could potentially work because of the leaf structure. What I really appreciate about the bromeliads is that the leaves look like somebody has planted or painted them with like spray paint. This one has more of a subtle look about it, but needless to say, that dark foliage is absolutely stunning. For $18.98, you know, bromeliads are something that, you know, another plant that I often see at big box stores, but this particular structure is really nice. I really love like the neon pinks, the really deep reds that we have in terms of bromeliads. I just think that they are such a statement piece plant as well. For the plant foldies that have made it this far into the video, if you haven't already, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And also let me know what you think of the plants that we've been I've been showing on this actual plant shopping video. Hopefully you've gotten into bromeliads. Hopefully you may consider growing caladiums as a house plant, and let me know your insights. I love that commentary. I love that engagement. And if you have been following my YouTube videos, you know that I will respond to every single text message in the comment section, regardless of whether it is a negative one. You might get a clap back from me, but needless to say, I will give you a response. And speaking of a response, can we get a comment about this gorgeous pink bromeliad? I mean, this is so beautiful. And you know, whenever I go shopping for plants, you know, a lot of times people will ask me, well, Richie, how do you get yourself to go and shop for plants, film and do big box or plant shopping on a daily basis? I would say, especially when I was on a schedule and routine, it really has a lot of benefits for me in terms of just having that routine, being able to stick to a schedule, having goals and really achieving those goals. I get so much out of just going to a big box store and, you know, filming plants, being able to enjoy the moment of looking at all of this foliage. You know, plants definitely play a great part in terms of promoting great wellness, whether it is your mental health or your physical health. For me, it's definitely something that supports my mental health. You know, about 2 years ago, just to be fully transparent, I really suffered from anxiety. I've never experienced that in all of my years of just living, or perhaps I never had it to that point where I didn't just say, oh, I'm just stressed. There is a difference between being stressed and having anxiety where you just feel uneasy for no reason, or there is just this fear and you can't really explain it. I will say that plants have really helped me get through a lot of my anxiety. I've actually, you know, sought out some professional help. And, you know, as far as me, I am a huge mental health advocate. I think oftentimes whenever we discuss mental health, people get a little bit weary about it. People find it a little bit taboo. But, you know, for any of my plant foldies that might be suffering from anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, any of those things, there is help out there. There's a lot of resources, and it is okay to openly talk about it. And that's why in terms of my plant shopping videos, so I know for a fact that I can be very much OCD. You know, people use the term OCD very loosely, but it is actually something that people struggle with, like myself. I have to be very particular about certain things. If I'm gonna OCD, or at least be obsessed about something, let me obsess about going out and creating meaningful plant content for the plant foldy community. And that is the reason why, you know, I get that question often, why I'm very diligent about trying to make these plant shopping videos. I mean, to be fully transparent again, I know plant foldies, you guys have seen the same plants. You probably heard the same commentary from me, but there is something about maybe joining the live premiere chats, or even just watching and looking at these plants as I pick them up. So let me get off of my little tangent. See, that's the reason why, as far as the community here on the Grow Folds channel, you guys truly accept me for being my most authentic self. That is really the only way I want to be with you guys, and just being able able to talk your ear off. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I can see where some people are like, well, Richie, you are being super repetitive. But hey, at least you get to know me on a more personal basis, even though I am faceless on YouTube for now. But speaking of which, did you see that this has got another Hydra Helix for $7.98. So you got a lot of these English ivies right over here. And if you notice, I picked up an Alocasia Silver Dragon, $7.98. Plant foldies for an Alocasia Silver Dragon in a 4.5-inch planter. That's super amazing. And this is the reason why, if you are able to make it to this Home Depot and you live in West Plano, Texas, come out here and buy yourself an Alocasia, or better yet, you can do the Hydra Helix challenge. That is the Hedera Helix challenge that we have on this channel, where basically you're going to buy an English ivy from a big box store, or just find an English ivy, put it in your indoor space, mark the day you bring it into your home, and see how long that English ivy will last indoors without it getting spider mites or going to plant heaven. The English ivy is probably one of the most challenging plants to grow as an indoor house plant, alongside with Calatheas. I've tried to grow it. I still love it because it reminds me of maple leaves. And for those that have just recently discovered, you can tell that I love Japanese maples. I love collecting maples. There is a whole world outside of just indoor tropical plants, and I hope to accomplish creating more awareness and maybe even sparking a little bit of interest in those plants. $14.98 by Vigoro Plants. We've got another gorgeous philodendron white princess. And you know, as far as philodendrons, again, we talk about how certain big box stores, you would assume, for instance, that Walmart has the most cost-effective plant pricing. That is not necessarily the case, and this is the reason why we must, and when I say must, always be mindful of where we buy our plants. Sometimes big box stores are not as cost-effective as, say, in a small business or a local nursery. I would just say compare and contrast plant pricing, decide whether the plant pricing is fair or is within your budget, and purchase the plant. But in terms of the current plant pricing, I know exactly how much certain plants should cost, and that's the reason why, especially if you are a local DFW plant foldie, I would hope you guys would actually press the subscribe button, but not only press the subscribe button, make sure you switch it to all notifications versus personal notifications. So here is my project for all of the plant foldies. After this video, definitely check if your subscription to me is all notifications or is it personalized notifications. Typically, when you press subscribe on a YouTube channel, it will default to personalized notifications. So depending on whether you've watched a couple of videos from that channel, sometimes you will not get the notification. Sometimes the video will not get recommended unless you have all notification bell on. And you already know I don't want you guys to miss a thing. I don't want to end up missing you guys on the live premiere chats or even in the comment section. So definitely check that out, and definitely check out this Alocasia cuprea, $7.98. That is another plant that I was like super tempted to purchase today. That would be called an impulse buy because I need to get a hold of my plant room. A lot of my plants are not watered. A lot of my plants are on the verge of going to plant heaven. So I need to take a little bit of time to make sure that I take care of my plants before I add any more to my plant collection. But as you can see right here, we've got lots of plants. Sansevieria, this is the bird's nest snake plant right here, $7.98 by Vigoro Plants. Very easy plant to take care of. I would highly recommend that as a beginner plant. And the same thing with this combination planter. So I am okay with a snake plant plus neon pothos plant in the same container because they are both low light tolerant and potentially drought tolerant, and they are cost effective. So that really makes sense for me. So let's go ahead and keep picking up some more of these plants right over here. We've got a syngonium of some sort for $7.98. My only suggestion for syngoniums is either grow them in a semi-hydroponic substrate like Lechuza Pond, Leca, or make sure you stay on top of the watering because syngoniums are very thirsty plants. If you do not water them consistently, they will get very unhappy to the point where they are wanting to go to plant heaven. Sansevieria Moonshine right over here for $7.98. And we just have another interesting, this one is actually a Dracaena Sandriana variegated version, $4.98. So this is considered the lucky bamboo, but this is the variegated form. I would like to grow this plant, but what I've realized is any Dracaena Sandriana or lucky bamboo, even though it's not a bamboo, needs a lot of water, and that's just a plant that I really can't keep up with. So I'm not adding plants that are not drought tolerant. That's just what my preference is, because I know my plant care habits, and I'm just not a waterer simply because I don't have that much time. And you know, some people will debate, well, if you are growing plants, you should know better that you have to water that. Yes, but I think plant foldies can relate with me when I say that you also get overzealous, super excited, overexcited about plants, and you don't realize that you've added so many plants in your plant collection. So if you've ever experienced that or are experiencing that now, please leave that in the comment section below, plant foldies. You know I love that engagement, and I want to hear from you as well. And also, if you made it this far into the video, thank you for staying tuned and really watching my content, but also don't forget to press the like button for this video. I definitely would appreciate that. Now we are actually watching all of the Proven Winners Leaf Joy plants. Now, Proven Winner plants, I would say, is one of the best nurseries to buy from. You can see that this is the Proven Winners Littles for $5.98. That is a Syngonium, and look at this gorgeous Hoya. I love this. Now, this one was overwatered. You can see that it doesn't have a drainage hole for the catch pot, so I'm just gonna, you know, get rid of the water. We don't want that plant to just drown, but look at the pink margins on it. Such a beautiful plant. This one is for $19.98. Proven Winners Leaf Joy series. Who is a fan? I'd love to know if you have Proven Winner plants. What I love about Proven Winner plants is they do offer some plants that are definitely different from, say, Costa Farms. On my plant shopping YouTube channel here, I often feature Costa Farms because I do a lot of my content in Lowe's, which is predominantly Costa Farms plants. But whenever you go to Home Depot, Proven Winners, especially Proven Winner Leaf Joy series, are often what you will see. So I'm going to keep picking up some plants. Like this one right here is a Philodendron Green Princess hybrid. So this is a hybrid right here. This one is for also $19.98 in a 5.5-inch planter. Beautiful green foliage, and we mentioned how oftentimes we go after variegated plants, but even the green foliage is absolutely stunning. And if you take a look at this, so I don't know how much this costs, but this is an Alocasia sinuata. Beautiful plant. This is actually an uncommon Alocasia. You don't typically find this at a big box store. I wish I knew the plant price for this. I'm assuming it's like $14.98. This is another example of a plant that I would have probably impulse buy. Alocasias do that to me, but I just know better, because Alocasias, at least in my opinion, are a little bit more challenging to grow in an indoor space long term, unless you baby them or unless you grow them in a semi-hydroponic substrate. And specifically, I would recommend using Lechuza Pon or Pon in general. But very interesting to see that. And then we have a Philodendron Birkin here. There's several plants here. I love the fact that this is a super full plant by Proven Winners Leaf Joy. Again, this is for $19.98. And I'm going to take this Philodendron Birkin and also Philodendron Green Princess and put them side by side. Let me know which one you would buy. Clearly they have a very similar leaf shape. This one actually looks like a reverted Philodendron Birkin. Either way, beautiful plant. And you know, as far as Proven Winners, again, Proven Winner house plants, you need to go shopping for Proven Winners plants. I would recommend them because they do have quality plants, and we're just going to keep picking up some more of these plants right here. Let me know again which Proven Winner plants you would buy, and I hope they continue to push out more plants like this Tradescanthia. I'm feeling flirty, love it as well. And you can see this Tradescanthia actually has some white blooms. That's the first time I've ever seen a Tradescanthia bloom, but beautiful plant. With Tradescanthia, again, you just need to make sure that you're watering them consistently, and if they start to get leggy, you can cut them back all the way back down to just to the very base of the soil, and they will come back. This one is a philodendron autumn leaves, which I think might be some type of philodendron. You know, as far as proven winter plants, they have a different name. It's really interesting how a certain plant will have several names. They're calling this one a philodendron autumn leaves. I also love the philodendron black cardinal that Proven Winners Leaf Joy series actually offers. And let's just pan around here. I mean, look at how full this Home Depot is. I love it. It makes me super excited. And let's just look at all of the Ficus elastica or rubber tree plants by Proven Winners. These are for $19.98. Take a look at this Ficus elastica Taniki. This one has some high variegation for $29.98 by Proven Winners. Houseplants, Proven Winner Leaf Joy series. Really love this. This one is in a 6-inch planter. And you can see we've got a Ficus elastica Burgundy. We've got a Philodendron Rojo Congo right here for $29.98. Really love that dark maroon petiole and stems and dark foliage. And then we also have a Thenanthe right over here. Beautiful plant. I actually have this one. This one does need to be consistently watered. And if you're able to provide higher humidity levels, it's going to do better for you. But I do love the green on green variegation. There are more plants I hope Proven Winners will actually release. If I were to give feedback to Proven Winners, Leaf Joy, as well as Costa Farms, Urban Jungle, Live Trends Design, get on the bandwagon and create your own trend of plants. Release more Aglaonemas. Aglaonemas are where it's at. They're very colorful. And you already know I have to talk about Aglaonemas, even if I haven't pulled up a lot of Aglaonemas in this plant shopping videos, because if you are a fan of Aglaonemas, I do ask any of the plant foldies to have an Instagram page, Facebook page. If you're on Facebook groups, post a picture of an Aglaonema, your Aglaonema, and use the hashtag popularize Aglaonema. Feel free to tag me at GrowFolds if you're on Instagram. That's something that, as far as a campaign, and you know, as I'm picking up these Proven Winner plants, I truly believe a lot of plants end up getting a lot of hype, a lot of traction, because people are posting on social media. You know, social media is a very powerful tool, especially if you use it as a force for good. And for me and this community, it is about that positivity. So let's celebrate celebrate all of our wins. Let's celebrate each other. Let's celebrate the fact that we are all in this together when it comes to shopping for plants, growing plants, and really sharing our knowledge for that. But as you can see here, they even have all of these different types of plants, and this is what I was talking about. I knew I would find it. This is an Aglaonema Silver Queen, and look at that. That is in a Leaf Joy bowl. Super excited for $29.98. I'm definitely going to buy this plant. It is a need, so I am going to buy this today, guys. This is an Aglaonema Silver Queen in a hydroponic substrate, so it is growing in straight water. I do love the H2O bowls that Proven Winners has, and I am just gonna go look through here. But if you notice, Aglaonemas, their roots are very much thick and robust, and these are a very healthy set of roots. And that's the thing about going big box or plant shopping. You typically want to buy the plants as soon as they've been delivered, and you can just tell based on these Aglaonemas that they were just delivered not too long ago. I'm willing to pay $29.98 for this because it's a different way of displaying the plant, especially if an Aglaonema is growing in straight water where the roots are basically water roots. It looks like these roots have been growing in water. It hasn't been like a conversion where they took these roots from soil, and if they did, these roots are still looking very good. And I am probably going to end up buying this one because if you'll notice, that one has a new leaf unfurling. So when you talk about buying plants at a big box store, tips that you need to be considering is look for signs of new growth, whether it's a new leaf unfurling, whether a new leaf has unfurled. Definitely check the tops and bottoms of the leaves to see if there's any potential plant pests, like anything fuzzy white, that's mealybugs, anything webbing, that's spider mites. If you see any yellowing that's on the edges, that's thrifts. And make sure that the plants that you're choosing from are also pest free, or at least look healthy. I mean, it looks like they're next to any those calatheas, but you can even notice between the calatheas and the Aglaonemas, the Aglaonema root systems are nice and white, look super healthy. And yes, that I will say definitively, you have gone shopping with me. I'm legit going to buy a plant today. I typically don't do that because I've been very good about house plant shopping. I can also just call this, as I went filming on Easter Sunday, that this is my Easter present for myself. There's just a lot to celebrate. And, you know, as far as, again, my grandmother's 90th birthday, which we celebrated on Saturday, you know, the day before Easter, just lots of good vibes. And, you know, when it comes down to this plant shopping adventure, I want you guys all to have a great day. I want you guys all, whoever engages in my plant shopping videos, to know that you can go to the Plantfoldy community, interact with each other. Feel free to always reach out to me if you have any questions. Share your plans and really just have good vibes only. I really want to live with that mantra of really having that positivity, because if you surround yourself and give that positive energy, typically that positive energy will be reciprocated. And I feel that. I feel the love of the Plantfoldies. I also feel the love for this philodendron black cardinal. Can we talk about how it's so beautiful, just the dark foliage, and it's an easy to care for plant. Another Proven Winners plant that I am going to eventually buy for $19.98. I did also want to say thank you not only to the super Plantfoldies that have joined my YouTube membership tier, but anybody that has left what you call a super sticker or super thanks. It's a monetary tip that you can give to a content creator on YouTube as a way to say thank you. Really appreciate that, because it does help fund some of the supplies, some of the efforts I put into this YouTube channel. So I did want to shout out anybody that has given me a super sticker or super thanks. If you are interested in doing that, you just have to look for the little dollar sign on your screen, press it, and you can enter any amount. So I did want to go ahead and shout out anybody who has given a super sticker. That is always a great gift to me, because typically I reinvest that into either equipment for my videos, or better yet, plants that I can use for future videos. But As you can see right here, as I am about to wrap up this video in just a little bit, I'm still picking up some plants. You'll notice that this is another philodendron green princess, but you'll notice that this one right here is not as full as the other. That's why whenever you go big box store plant shopping, make sure you have ample amount of time to really look at the plants. Don't feel like you have to settle for the plants. Make sure that you are really investing the time, because you know what? At the end of the day, you're the one who's putting out that money. And with things being so uncertain with the economy and people really tightening up on their finances, it's very important, at least for me, to try to steer people in the right direction when it comes to managing your finances when you're going plant shopping. Maybe I'm feeding it in the wrong direction though, because like I said again, whenever you are at a big box store, very challenging to just control yourself from buying plants. I mean, look at this. Proven winter plants are where you need to be at. Love proven winter plants. If you have them on Instagram, please leave comments, positive comments on the proven winners IG pages. They've got some amazing ones. And as I pan away over here, you'll see that it is just a gorgeous sea of different types of proven winter plants. If you haven't already, go to a Home Depot, do your plant shopping, look for proven winter plants, highly recommend them. And also, if you've enjoyed my video and you want some more content, join my YouTube membership tier, Super Plant Foldies. All you have to do is click on the link in the comments section for this video and hit join. As always, this is Richie at Grow Folds. Again, I hope everybody has had an amazing Easter holiday with your friends and family, and success right here. I am going home with an amazing Aglaonema Silver Queen in just straight water. I'm super excited to share the journey of that. I'm probably gonna put that on my YouTube membership tier, updates on this plant. But again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want more daily plant shopping videos. I will definitely catch you on the next video with a brand new one this week. Bye.